More than a quarter of Australians are delaying major life decisions, like climbing the career ladder, getting married and having kids, due to the state of the housing market. According to new research by Indirect, pursuing the Australian dream of home ownership comes at a high cost. As property prices climb ever higher and young Australians battle to get a foothold in the market, many are making big sacrifices. It's not just the overseas holidays and creature comforts that are being sidelined, but some of the most joyous and fulfilling goals and milestones. The results from the ING International Survey on Homes and Mortgages revealed that 36% of Australians admitted to feeling trapped in their jobs, with 15% saying they could not change their current job, 12% delaying their weddings and 8% putting off having children. Almost a third of respondents said they could not afford to live alone, while 13% were forced to live with their parents and 21% could not retire. Can't set a wedding date. For nurse Caitlin Newnham and her fiancé Nathan Wilson, walking down the aisle is a distant goal. Forget the bonbonnerie and bridesmaids' dresses. They can't even book a venue for their big day, because they have no idea what they can afford, or even when they'll start saving. It wasn't what Ms. Newnham had in mind when her beloved popped the question last year. But they've got other priorities. We've just basically decided that a house is our priority at the moment. So we've sort of decided that we won't plan a wedding until we're settled in our own house. But that's proving to be a bit of a struggle, she said. To get something even half decent at a reasonable price, it's proven to be really hard. And the market's just so tough and competitive at the moment. We went for an inspection the other day for a house and put an offer in very close to what they had on it, and within a day we'd been outbid by $20. More than the asking price. People are just going wild. Ms. Newnham and her fiancé, who have a 10-month-old daughter, are looking for a 3-bedroom house in Tweed Heads, on the far north coast of New South Wales. They've got a budget of $400. And are struggling to find something decent. Everything we've looked at around that range has not been very nice or in complexes with high body corporate fees, she said. We would really like to be in our own place by Christmas, but you go to a place and there's 7 odd families that are looking at the same thing and we're fairly young. We're both working full-time and still not being able to get in. Stuck in a work row. Aspiring journalist Emily, 24, feels trapped in her well-paid marketing job as she struggles to save for an apartment in Sydney. I'm struggling, she told News.com. I would like to look at different roles in the company that I work in and externally. But I think that at this point in time I literally am just working to save for a deposit. And I think a lot of my colleagues are doing the same. I've got a really good friend who wants to go down a completely new avenue and she literally doesn't even want to invest any time in it. All she's madly trying to do is save for a deposit on a house. With a journalism qualification behind her, Emily wants to pursue a media career, but knows she will likely have to downgrade her pay packet to break into the industry. I'd have to take a pay cut to start back down close to the bottom, and at this point in time it's not something that ideally I'd want to do, just because I am saving for a deposit. Quote, Emily said, the industry I'm in generates a lot of revenue, so I think if I was to step out of this role and this industry I'd definitely be looking at quite a dramatic pay cut. And she wasn't alone, Emily said, citing the case of a friend who wanted to switch from an advertising sales role and become a real estate agent. She would have to take a $40 pay cut and start at the bottom because she's never done anything like that before. Quote, Emily said, my friends and I have felt the limitations of exploring something new just because we want the Australian dream and would love to own our own home. It is one or the other. Dana.Macaulay at news.com.au. Historical data from On the House demonstrates the peaks and troughs of Sydney's house values over the last 35 years and how prices have changed.